Good morning, guys. It is February something 16th. Haha. And it's the morning drive. If you guys are wondering why there wasn't one on Monday, that's because it was a holiday and I didn't go to work, so I didn't really have a chance to drive there, so there wouldn't be a morning drive. So that's the reason why. But yeah, this is the first time watching the show. What I basically do is it's about a 20-minute drive from here to work for me. So during that time, I talk, I answer questions, I read comments, and if I run out of comments, I ramble. So, also there's probably a good chance there's going to be a little pause in this video because I'm very low on gas. So I'm going to have to get gas on the way to work. But anyway, once I get out of this turn here, it snowed a lot. Like, wow. There's about a foot of snow. I don't even know where it came from. Yesterday there was grass. This is, welcome to Canada, right? And, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! And my wheels are spinning. And I'm skidding. There we go. And I'm sort of on the road. Close enough. Anyway. So I have the comments here. They're covered in snow. Courtesy of Mother Nature. Wow, there's just, oh, that's just a giant pile of snow on my windshield. Okay. I'm like trying to see out my windshield. I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's just a mound of snow. Okay. Brushed off my car. By brushed off my car, I mean I hit my windshield wiper so I can see out the front. And now I can't. I can see, it's just I got a small tobogganing hill on the front of my car. First question, or first comment, or first anything from Tabletop Banner. I actually agree with your points on welfare spending from before. I was just curious to learn more about your views. Totally agree with what you said. If you could take the hair and beard of any other mini wargaming employee, whose would it be? I don't know. I'm actually really, really happy with my hair and beard. I think if I had to take somebody's hair, I would probably take Dave's. That's probably just because I could. Beard though, Josh. I would take Josh's beard for sure. It's just the whole personality, and then you look like if you took them both together and combined them, they'd look like some sort of a crazy mountain man thing. Yeah, just like the long hair and the long beard. It would just be like eyes and a nose, and then the rest of it would just be fur. So, yeah, that's probably the two that I would take, the Dave and Josh. Dave's hair, Josh's beard, not Josh's hair, Dave's beard, because that's the opposite of what I want. There's like nothing there. CJ Phoenix, morning, how's your weekend? By the time you read this, we both will have seen Deadpool. How did you find it? Starting off, my weekend was really, really good. And yes, I went and saw Deadpool. Oh man, it was good. Oh, I don't even... It was good. I very, 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 very much enjoyed the movie. They hit on a lot of points. I can't honestly think of my favorite part. There's a lot of points in the movie where I was just like, that was hilarious, that was hilarious. There was a lot of moments where you ever watch a movie and there's like the one or two little like one-liners that stick out to you and you're just like, yeah, that was a good movie. Mostly because of this one-liner. This was a movie of that. This is just all one-liners and like jokes and pranks and just Deadpool being Deadpool. Very much enjoyed it. So, aside from that, my weekend was good. I got to relax. It was a longer weekend, so I got to stay home a little bit and play some video games. Cleaned up my house a little bit. That's about the extent of it. I didn't do too much. Went and saw Deadpool. That was the thing I was most excited for. So, yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do this crazy on-ramp turn thing, and then I can get to more comments. There is so much snow, and I drive a Mini. I'm not exactly designed to go plowing through this snow. Oh, sliding. There we go. I have a mild heart attack there. Sliding onto an on-ramp going into traffic. And that's when everybody watched Quirk die, because he filmed it. Because he's an idiot. Okay. Oh, this is gonna be a long drive. Sorry. This is gonna be a very long morning drive, guys. I'm sorry if I run out of comments. I'm trying to stall a little bit before I read the next comment. Not because it's a bad comment, but because I'm gonna run out of comments and only be like halfway to work. This is terrible. There's literally traffic this morning. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's put that in 6th and just maybe put that in 5th. I'm about to stall my car. There we go. All right. Next comment I have is from that comment provided to you by Snow and all its unhealthy goodness. Okay. Lane Stanquist. Thank you for reading my last comment. I really enjoyed the personal connection that many Wargaming staff are able to have and keep with their members. You're welcome. I will try to get you a picture of the International when I'm able to get it. Does Mini Wargaming close for stat holidays, or does staff normally come into work on those things anyway? I ask, as is Alberta is a holiday on Monday. Yep. So yes, we do close on Family Day. It is Family Day. I've seen any of the... Whoop. Hang on a second. There's a giant snowplow, and we're good. I'm like trying to drive and read and deal with snow at the same time. So Lane, if I die because of you, it's not really your fault. I shouldn't have been driving like this anyway. Okay. So I started reading that out loud and I started mumbling it to myself. So, does Mini Wargaming close for staff holidays, or staff normally come in and work on those things anyway? I ask, as it is in Alberta, that is a stat holiday on Monday. It is Family Day. Have you seen any of the Letter Kenny videos on YouTube? If not, please search them, as I think you will find them very funny and fun to share with other Mini Wargaming staff. Sure, I can definitely do that. And it's letting me read more. I guess there's more to that comment. I just didn't figure to click it. That's my bad, dude. I'm sorry. So, no, I haven't watched any of the Letterkenny's, so I don't know what those are. I will do that when I get to work today, at some point. Might be next year when I get to work. Wow, it's just so slow. Normally, at this point in the highway, I'm going about 100 kilometers, not miles. Wish I could go 100 miles. Great. But right now, I'm going a measly 40. Yep. I'm just trucking along here. Yeah, I'm gonna run out of comments before I even get to the straightaway to work. Oh. I just need one of you brave car drivers to be brave and go into the right-hand lane and dig out a little path for me. I'm not asking for much, just do all the work. Please. Please? No? I don't want to do it because I'll die. Okay. Next comment. Fallen Hero 3. Do you play any RTS games on PC? I do. I've played StarCraft and StarCraft 2. They were fun. Oh, wow. I do enjoy the Dawn of War games. They're always good for a little laugh and relaxation. On PC, that's about the most I've done for RTS games. On my Xbox, I've done like Halo Wars. On my iPad, I've done a couple. So, not a huge RTS fan, but I do I'll play them if they pop up. I'm just really, really bad at the micromanaging of stuff. Like if I'm playing StarCraft, I never, ever set up more than one base because I'll forget about the other one. I will be like, oh, this base is all set up. Great, let's move on to the next one. And I'll start building my next one. And the first one will be like, we have tons of resources and everything's ready, but none of our machines are working. What are you doing at the other base? We need to start building dudes. And I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot I have this base. I should probably do some stuff with it, and then I'll go back to that. I'm a very one-track mind kind of guy, and I can't separate the whole thing with two bases. Just doesn't work for me. So that's usually why I like to play first-person shooters and things like that, where it's like I have one goal: put bullets into the other guy. That's pretty straightforward. And then what happens is I get flustered because I'll have two people jump me, and I'm like, oh crap. Because I always do the same thing where I'll spray one guy down until I see his shield break, then I'll start to shoot the other guy, and I'm like, wait, I should probably finish off that first guy because his shield's gonna recharge by, oh, it's recharging. Like that's pretty much how it goes down usually for me in Halo. So I can't separate or multitask very well. Oh my god! Why am I yawning so much? I had such a good sleep. But I played Destiny yesterday and I was doing really, really well multiplayer there. Like, give me a pistol, get out of my way. So I was quite proud of that. But yes, Fallen Hero, I do play RTSs. There's a short list of the ones I do play. If you have a suggestion for one, please let me know and I'll definitely check it out. Because I like my video games. And I do have to stop and get gas. Crud. I can officially go 8 kilometers. It's literally dropping as I'm watching this. It was at 9. It was at 10 when I was starting that sentence, and it dropped to 8 by the time I finished that sentence. So, and I still have another like 20 kilometers to go. All right. Next up, I have Burnett Batur. I hope I pronounced that right. LeBron James or Kobe Bryant. To be honest, I couldn't give you. If you tried to get stats or anything like that out of me, I know nothing. But personal preference, I like LeBron. He seems like a cool dude. Kobe seems a little bit high and mighty for my liking. I know it's kind of part of the sport is to be like, I'm the best. Ain't nobody gonna bring me down. But that wasn't racist. That was me trying to make a Rocky V reference from the speech he did, and I just totally butchered it. Where it's like life isn't. I'm totally about to ramble here, and I'm sorry, but that speech where he's just like, nobody's gonna hit as hard as life. Not your mom, not your job, not your whatever. I don't know why mom was the first thing that popped into my head there. That's just weird. But I'm totally getting gas right now. Oh, the spot just. You jerk. You're gonna watch me rear end somebody, guys. He took my spot. You jerk face. You jerky jerk face. Oh, now I gotta find another spot. Yes. Well, let's hope I don't kill myself here. Alright, well, I'm going to stop this now before I hurt myself. I'll be back after I fill up. And I'm back. And it is really cold outside. Like, incredibly cold. So now I can get back on the highway and drive really, really slow to work. Just to have people yell at me for being late. Actually, I'm still not late, but I will be. Just because it's such a long drive. Next comment is from Sam Farrell. Dude, that's a boss name. Almost as good as like Max Power. And I will read it as soon as I can get on the road. That dude's going sideways. Still going sideways. Now going sideways the other way. That was magical. Wow. Okay. I'm going to stay a safe distance away from that guy. Sam Farrell. I spent a lot of time on the local tracks. If you like the Mini, you will love how the Miata drives. It is a true street legal go-kart. Be honest. Does the mental picture of Steve shoehorning into the passenger seat of your ride make you smile? Yes, it does. In fact, I am going to try and find the video of everybody cramming into my Mini, and I will post it on YouTube somewhere. Because I have to find that video, because for certain reasons, Leland, we can't post it on the Mini Wargaming site, so he was in the video. That's the reason why we can't post it, because he's no longer an employee, so we can't really post content that has a past employee. I don't think. Anyway, yeah, I'll just post it. It's easier that way. And you guys will get your giggles out of it. This dude is just giving her. We're going on the highway, and he's just, every now and then he floors it. And you see this truck go like the entire way taking the turn to like get onto the on-ramp. He was going sideways. He's going to get me killed. It is his fault. It is not Lane's fault. It is this guy's fault. So Lane, you're off the hook. You lucked out. Because people are dumb. And, oh, but he is, oh, now I don't know if I can hate you or not, man, because you're totally going into the left-hand lane and making a trail for everybody. Oh, I'm gonna be sad now when you die. Oh well. C'est la vie. Next up. Oop, don't be running that car. Okay. Craig Mithlatten. I think. I'm assuming this is Scottish. So. Hey Quirk, I know you love your energy drinks. Oh, do I ever. But there is a Scottish energy drink called Une Brie. Have you ever heard of or tried it? It's awesome, but it's one of those drinks you either love or hate. But it's quite strong. Even states on the can may have adverse effects on activity and attention in children. Yeah, it's good stuff. Haha. Whoop! Now I'm sliding everywhere. First off, point, because I totally called it. It was Scottish. No, I have not tried it. It sounds delicious. Pretty much anything where it's like in can form, it's like maybe harmful, or just if you're a child you can't drink it. I'm usually game for. So, as long as it's like an actual drink, not like battery acid, because obviously that's just no. But if it's like a energy drink of any kind where it's just like, caution, this may contain adverse effects. Yeah, let's try it. Let's see how spun I get. So, oh, speaking of energy drinks, I totally bought one at the gas station. Oh, greatest sound in the morning. And that is the sound of me going off the road. Totally worth it for a sip of my drink, though. Yeah, this is... Okay, well, at least it's a little less crowded now, and a little better, but the roads are still total... They're crap. The roads are crap. I'm sliding everywhere. I'm not even trying to when I'm sliding. It's times like this I wish I had a front-facing camera so you guys can just watch how bad of a driver I am. Maybe that's what I'll do on like tomorrow's drives. I'll just set the camera to like the forward view so you can see the drive I take to work, and I'll just talk the entire time, and you guys can just like watch me be a terrible driver. No, that's a terrible idea. That's just a bad idea in itself. We watched Quirk drive, and we want to sign a petition so that he can't be behind the vehicle of a car anymore, because, well, he's a danger to himself and the people around him. Alright, next up we have Bjorn Leo. Oh, okay. Sorry, I read it really quick. I was referring to your dream where you woke up shouting, "No, bad Leo." That was my last name. Yes. Yes, that wasn't, okay. I had a dream where I woke up and I was just like, no, like I basically was trying to coordinate a bunch of miniatures to do stuff, and I woke up in the like middle of the night because I was frustrated with them because they weren't like cooperating, or at least there was this one that wasn't cooperating. His name was Leo, and I woke up and I was just really upset because throughout the entire dream I felt like the full 8 hours of sleep I put 8 hours into like animating this thing, and then when I woke up I wasn't upset that like, oh, I didn't get that much sleep. I was upset that all the work I just put into it didn't result in anything. And when I woke up, I said, no, bad Leo, and Bjorn Leo, well, his last name's Leo, so I thought I was talking about him. So, Bjorn, not you. Bjorn, not you. There we go. Next up, we have Matthew Magi. Oh. There we go. Hey, Quirk, so you're going to put demon heads on your Alpha Legion. Real question now. Oh. You're making fun. I hate you. I don't like you already. No, I'm just kidding. Real question now. What do you think of who would win, Marvel or DC, and why? Oh, that's a good question. Really quick, the whole putting demon heads on my Alpha Legion is referring to the Irritated Wargamer, where, yeah, I was complaining that people are never happy with the job you did. But as long as you're happy, I guess that's all that really matters, right? No, you pretty much build and paint your models for your own satisfaction. Satisfaction. I think that's right. And then also to brag to your friends and be like, look what I got and how well I painted it. Now, on to the actual question. Who would win, Marvel or DC? I honestly think Marvel will win, mainly because they're the ones who are breaking box office records. Look at Deadpool, 150 million on the opening weekend. That's pretty sweet. I know a lot of people are excited for like the Batman versus Superman thing, but here's my view on it. They've come out with 2 Superman movies? 1 or 2? I want to go with 1. Like the newer Superman movie. There's been tons and tons and tons of Superman movies. Like there was one point when they came out with one, and then the next year they came out with another one because Zack Snyder was like, I can do this better. And then he didn't. Then they got the Batman trilogy, which did amazing on its own because everybody loves Batman. And now they're going, okay, well, we're going to take the 2 and put them together. And you know what? I think it's time we kind of are like, hey, you know what? I think it's time to put in a woman superhero. Let's throw Wonder Woman in there just as like a teaser. We might only give her like 1 scene and like a main side character role, but for now, we'll put that on the back burner and think about it. Whereas Marvel's just like, hey, here's a talking raccoon with a rocket launcher. Marvel literally is doing everything they can to put out as much as they can and just build their fan base by going and just hitting every single base. You got Thor, you got Thor, you got Iron Man, you got the Hulk, you've got pretty much all of the Avengers. Now you've also got Ant-Man, and every movie that comes out, they introduce more. Like Deadpool just came out and they introduced Colossus, a new Colossus, who I think is hilarious, and also Negasonic Warhead. So yeah, they're just throwing everything they can at the wall and being like, you know what, it's probably gonna stick because we're kind of awesome. Now, where I think they're kind of lacking is DC partnered up with Warner Brothers and came out with like Justice League, whatever it is. Basically, all they did was they took the Mortal Kombat engine and added some new skins and a fancy storyline to it. But for the most part, it's just like it's Mortal Kombat meets DC Universe. But the thing was, it was also sponsored by Warner Brothers, and Warner Brothers has a huge amount of connections. So the fact that they did that meant that their game is now going to get crazy amounts of publication. Whereas Marvel, their video game aspects are kind of lacking. When it comes down to like just the comic books, I think at that point it's just personal preference. So I don't think when it comes to comic books, I don't think there's one that does better than the other. It's the same as like when people are arguing computer parts, which one's better, Intel or AMD? Yeah, AMD. Like, which one's better? It doesn't really make a difference. Either way your computer's going to run. Same thing with comics. It doesn't really make a difference who made it, as long as you like the character. But for the most part, when it comes down to it, I think Marvel is beating DC in the movie genre. DC is beating Marvel in the video game genre. As for the comic book one, they're always going to be on par. They both have licenses to different characters. They've already done a couple things where it's just like, hey, let's just randomly throw these things in between universes. Like, let's introduce Batman to Thor. Oh, look, Batman can pick up Thor's hammer. Well, that was a terrible idea. Let's not do that again. Like, that's just how it ends up happening. They do all these little cross-reference things. So, well, everybody sees them as like this whole, Marvel and DC, they hate each other. I think they actually have like a really good partnership rivalry thing going on, and it just kind of boosts up everybody's excitement about the entire comic book era, genre, whatever you want to call it, where basically you got at the end of the day, everybody's getting pretty much what they want. If you want, I hate using this term, but if you want quirky, funny comic book heroes, you can go to Marvel. If you want serious, down-to-earth stuff, you can go and read DC stuff. But the same thing kind of applies. If you want to read like crazy dark anime, you go and read a Dark Horse book. If you want to like enjoy something more relaxed and kind of casual, then go get like a Shonen Jump and just kind of enjoy like a sample of a couple little comics here and there that have a more family-friendly aspect to them. It really just comes down to what people want, and I think there's enough of everybody that all these companies can do really well. So Marvel and DC comic books, they're pretty much on par in my mind. In other genres, they have a clear victor, and I don't see that opinion changing anytime soon. So, wow, I kind of rambled on with that answer, but yeah, that's kind of my opinion on the Marvel versus DC. If your question was which one do I prefer, it's Marvel. I like Marvel more because they have more characters and are willing to push the boundaries a little bit more, whereas Marvel has been more, let's just play everything as close to realistic as we possibly can and make everything really dark and gritty, and everybody has like this deep longing for something. I don't care for that. I I want sketch comedy. I want ha-has. I don't want alls. So that's me. Don't get me wrong. Marvel's had a ton of moments where it's just like, oh, it's really sad. But it's almost like Futurama, where you're just like, yeah, it's 20 laps for one tear. I can live with that. So, but yeah, that was wow. Thank you for that question there, bud. That was a good one. That was a good one, eh? That was a great, bud. All right, I'm done. Next up. This is a really difficult turn, and it's even worse because it's full of ice. Cody Asher. If you get me killed, Cody. Okay. Does the 40K-centric nature of the job ever annoy you? I've always got the impression it really wasn't your cup of tea. Well, I guess I'm going to be honest here. It wasn't really. I got hired on to cover War Machine and fill in for like specialty games so I can help Steve with fantasy, which I barely ever do because he's always got tons of guests in. But I can also cover X-Wing and Armada because I've played those before. I don't own my own stuff. Pretty much everything that I have is studio stuff because everything that I had went to the studio. Same thing with all of my War Machine stuff. I'm still keeping my War Machine stuff, but a lot of it is now at the studio for anybody to use just because it's easier than having everything home and here and needing something from home and driving all the way and going there. So that's just how that ends up working. But no, the 40K, it used to be my favorite game. I'm gonna just be honest here. It was my favorite game up until about 5th edition. 5th edition came out and it was perfect in my eyes. I couldn't think of anything that was wrong with it. Obviously there was the rules discrepancies, but it had the tightness to it that could actually be a very good tournament style game. There wasn't a lot left to the dice. There wasn't a lot of randomness to it. There wasn't a lot of uncertainty. So it wasn't, there was like the fixed charge ranges, there was the, you can't pre-measure stuff, there was the, there was just a lot more strategy to it. Like those are the ones that come to my head right off the bat, but there's a lot more strategy to it. Whereas right now when you look at like Necrons, and I'm gonna bash Necron players here, and I'm not doing that intentionally, it's just kind of the way that I've seen it, is put models on the board, move forward and shoot. That's pretty much how you win with Necrons, because they don't need cover, really. They don't need to worry too much about vehicles, because they can just glance at all. Their weapons are powerful enough that they can hurt anything. So at the end of the day, they don't really need to worry about that much. Whereas before, in like 5th edition, it was, Necrons were good, but they didn't have all the tools they have now. So they were kind of scary. Or they weren't as scary. They had like warriors, destroyers, wraiths were like an elite choice, C'tans were an HQ, and they had a monolith for a vehicle. And that was it. That was all they had, and I thought it was awesome. And then they started adding all this new stuff, and once they started to add all the new stuff, and when 7th edition came out, or when 6th edition came out, I started to see like, oh, okay, I see they're leaving a lot more stuff to chance. And then when 7th edition came out, I was like, nope, I was done halfway through 6th. So when I stopped playing originally when 6th came out, I had probably 4 armies. I had Chaos Demons, and it was completely unpainted, but it was my 3rd Chaos Demons army because I've always started them, got really excited, then tried to play with their old rules where they all had to be like cut in half, and half the army deep struck in, the other half came in through reserves at some point. It was terrible. It did not play very well, but I just loved the look of the models. And I liked the idea of the play style and just like how they're all different human emotions. I thought that was really cool. But at that time, I probably had about, I'd say about 5,000 points of demons. I had easily 20,000 points of Grey Knights. I had 16,000 points of Necrons, and I also had some Guard, which I never really played. I just kind of had them because I needed something to shoot at with my other guys. So, but I had Guard. So I ended up selling / giving away pretty much everything. Used that money to kind of fund my first War Machine army and started playing War Machine mostly. Then I started working here, and the reason why it comes off that I'm very annoyed with 40K is because I don't know it anymore. When people are talking about like destroyer weapons and all these different rules that I'm just not used to. I can't relate to it like I used to be able to. Like there was a time when people would be like, oh, you know, there will be rack rule, and I could rattle it off to you, no questions asked. And they changed it to reanimation protocol, and they changed the rules for it, and they changed all this. So now it's one of the biggest things that irritates Steve actually, is because I keep referencing rules that no longer exist, and he started playing in 7th edition, so he's never heard of these rules, so he thinks I'm just making them up. But he gets really frustrated with me. So I do get some enjoyment out of that, I'm not gonna lie. It's very fun just to kind of push his buttons with it, but that's the reason why I come off as a little bit annoyed with 40K, is because I don't know it as well as I used to. And so I'm working on that, I'm working on learning everything, but that's pretty much the reason why it comes off that way. So if it does come off that I'm very anti-40K, I'm not. I'm just still learning it. So if you see me kind of like, oh, it's usually because I don't know what's being talked about. But that's it for me, guys. I am officially at work. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this. As always, leave a comment below. Let me know if there's something you like, if there's a question you'd like me to answer, if there's just a comment you'd like me to read out loud, I can certainly do that. Also, guys, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Happy wargaming.